the father should be the primary disciplinary figure in the house. Now, this is not easy, because if on the one side you have to exert discipline, on the other side you have to care with great love, and to find the right combination in this tension is quite challenging. If, for instance, you do not have a lot of discipline, neither a lot of love, then obviously you're the neglecting father or the neglecting parent. And that means the child grows up with neglect, which means he grows up as an orphan. If on the other side you have so much caring love but no discipline, then you're the permissive parent. So the child does whatever he wants to do, and that child grows up with insecurity. On the other side, if you have a lot of discipline and no love, then you're an authoritarian person. What do you grow? Being an authoritarian person, you grow a rebel. So the best tension that you got to discover is the tension between discipline and love. That is authoritative, not authoritarian, authoritative. And that provides the secure environment in which the child grows up with good self-esteem, confidence, knows what to do, knows, for instance, where the path is, the passage is in which he should function in life. Discipline is a challenge for every parent. Now, we do not have the time to say all the things that are needed for discipline, but let me give you a few indicators that you should think of. Number one, if you discipline your child, you must find yourself in the world of your child. You've got to understand the world of your child. And therefore, often I have to train fathers to basically walk on their knees to get an eyesight with the children so that they will see the world from that position if you're a small child. So the understanding of the child, or the limitations in understanding of the child, should be acknowledged by the parent. In every phase of life, the parent should understand the limitations or the world of the child. Know the world of your child. Secondly, if you want to discipline in the right way, understand that different children have different temperaments, which means the following. If you discipline one child in the same way as the second child, they may experience your discipline in different ways. And therefore, parents need to learn the social styles. There are various things, disc analysis, Myers-Briggs tests. You got to understand the temperament, the social temperament of your child, so that you can know how to apply your discipline in different ways to different children, because different children are motivated in different ways. Thirdly, very important, that you will not say no because you think that correction is the best discipline. Later on, we will teach you that affirmation is actually the better educator than correction. And therefore, parents need to limit saying no for everything. Be careful in saying no, because the moment that you say no, you have to discipline your child to be obedient and to keep to what you are saying. And I have discovered that so many parents create a world in the house for themselves and not for their children. Children cannot play, for instance, in the house. Why not? House is a home. Let them play. I loved it to play with my children. We had great cricket pitches, wrestling mats, everything in the house. Because in Cape Town it rains. You got to play in the house, because that's the world of the child in which you have to discipline the child. And then when you do discipline, obviously there are various things to consider. Never do it in outbursts of anger. Be super careful to discipline your child, specifically spanking your child, between 6 and 8 in the evening when you go home. Everyone is tired. You can only discipline your child for disobedience, for immoral actions, and then as safety precautions to protect him against things like burning his fingers or falling off the roof or whatever it is. So be careful on not to over-discipline your child, but to allow him some freedom within the boundaries set for him to develop optimally. At the same time, embrace him with the love. The most important thing in discipline is you have to stay emotionally connected to your child. I traveled so much during my life, which means that I was away from home many nights every year. But I had to keep that emotional connection with my children so that I could even discipline them on the telephone. It would work like this. I want to speak with mommy. Mommy says she's not happy because George, my son, has been disobedient. So then I call George to the telephone. Mommy called George. George comes to the telephone. I say to George, George, mommy is not happy. And if mommy is not happy, I am not happy. What did you do wrong? No, but mom. No, George. Remember who's the most important in the house? Who's the most important in the house, George? Yes, mommy is the most important. Okay, George. Now, never forget this, George. So now you go to mommy and you confess on the things that you have done wrong. I'm waiting. You wait. Obviously, you pay as well. And you wait and pay. George comes back. George, did you look in mommy's eyes when you asked for forgiveness? Is her eyes filled with peace? Is she calm? Is she fine? Okay, good, George. Remember, when I come home and mommy is not happy, I will keep you personally responsible. You can be the primary disciplinary figure even sometimes from a distance, but then you must be absolutely emotionally connected with each child in every phase of his life. There are other things that we must remember. Obviously, you have to decide on a policy whether spanking is allowed or not. Let me just say, I think we overdo this most often. And to take a child out of the situation by timeouts would be the best way to discipline a child if you want to go to the situation of punishment, which generally is not needed so much if you really believe that affirmation is the best educator of a child and not correction. When you do discipline the child, do it with the child, not against him. It's not you against him. No. You are helping him to get to the promised land. That's why we have laws. That's why we have discipline. How to get to the promised land. You help him towards that. If after the discipline, you must spend time in debriefing on the discipline. Why did I do this? What are the laws? It will say the laws. Next time, the same discipline will happen. Help me, my child, that I can help you to reach the promised land. Discipline actually is a fantastic thing because God says, if I do not discipline you, you are not my son. And therefore, if we have that attitude that because of the relationship with the child, we will discipline the child. And secondly, and God says, it is to sanctify us so that we can become what God intended us to be. In our disciplining of our children, the ultimate goal is they must optimize. They must come the dream that God dreamt for them. The ultimate purpose God meant for them. We must usher them into that situation. I hope that you have the grace to be the primary disciplinary figure, but in the right way.